Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever poured your heart and soul into a piece of writing, a big project, or just a brilliant idea, only to feel like you're shouting into the void? It's super frustrating, right? Well, today, we're going to fix one of the biggest reasons that happens.
So why does that happen? I mean, you've done all the hard work. You've got these incredible insights, but nobody clicks. Nobody reads. It's like your work is invisible. It's a huge problem, but you know what? The solution is usually hiding in plain sight.
And yeah, a lot of the time, it all comes down to the title. I mean, think about it. It's the very first impression. It's the gatekeeper to all that amazing stuff you created. A weak title? That's a locked door. But a great one, well, that changes everything.
So let's start thinking of your title as the key that unlocks that door. And right here, right now, we're going to build your personal title writing toolkit. We're going to fill it with some really practical, easy-to-use techniques to help you craft headlines that don't just sit there, they grab people and pull them in.
Okay, first tool out of the box. This one's a powerhouse, and I call it the Power Trio. It's a fantastic little formula for creating a title that's both really descriptive and catchy.
The process is actually pretty simple. First, you just boil your topic down to its most essential words. Those are your key terms. Step 2, you shape those words into a short, punchy hook. And for the final touch, you add what's called the power of 3. 3 descriptive words that give it depth. It's funny, our brains are just wired to find lists of 3 super satisfying.
Let's see it in action, okay? So imagine your key terms are resolution, children, and aggressive. You mash those together to get your hook. Resolution of aggressive children. Pretty good. But then you add that trio: prevention, protection, and treatment. Boom. All of a sudden, you've got this solid, professional, and really informative title.
All right, let's grab the next tool from our kit. This one's all about something you might not think about much, the word count. Because sometimes less is way, way more.
So this is all about being strategic with length. A super simple 2-word title like Grand Palace. Perfect. It's describing a specific thing. But add a 3rd word, like a king's residence, and suddenly you're telling a bit of a story. Go to 4 words, Palace versus Grand Palace, and now you're signaling a debate or a comparison. The trick is to pick your word count on purpose to match what you're trying to do.
Now for tool number 3. This is for those times when you want to break out of the standard playbook and try something with a little more flair. It's all about finding a creative angle.
And here are 3 really cool ways to do just that. You can start your title with a preposition to create a mood, start with a gerund to inject some action, or kick things off with a question word to make people instantly curious. Each one gives your title a totally different vibe.
So, take the preposition. A title like On the Way Home. That doesn't just state a topic, right? It sets a scene. It feels like the beginning of a story. It makes you lean in and wonder, okay, what happened on the way home? It's different, and because it's different, it really stands out. Next up, the gerund. Now that's just a fancy term for an ing word that acts like a noun. Look at this title. The word brainstorming isn't just a label, it's an action. It feels energetic, It puts the reader right in the middle of the process before they've even started reading. And finally, maybe the most powerful tool of all, the question. Starting with a why or a how is like making a direct promise to your reader. You're basically saying, hey, I know you're wondering about this, and I've got the answer right inside. It's just almost impossible not to click on that. Okay, so you've used the tools, you've drafted a killer title, but we're not quite done. There's one last crucial step, the final polish. This is what makes your title look truly professional, and it all comes down to one simple little acronym. And that acronym is CAP, or CAP. It stands for conjunctions, words like and, or, but, articles, a, and, the, and prepositions, of, in, on, for. The rule is super simple. In a title, you just don't capitalize these little words. And you can see the difference right away. It's subtle, but it's huge. Beauty and the Beast, all lowercase, looks kind of messy, but apply the cap rule and you get Beauty and the Beast. See how N and these stay small? It just instantly looks cleaner and more professional.
But, and this is the one big exception you have to remember, the very first word of a title is always capitalized. I don't care what it is, even if it's an article like the. If it's the first word, it gets a capital letter. So the great love of a mum becomes the great love of a mum. Getting that little detail right is everything.
And that's it. That's your title writing toolkit. You've got the power trio for structure, the word count for focus, creative angles for that extra spark, and the cap rule for that pro finish. You literally have the keys now. So the only question left is, what are you going to unlock first?